Okay, in this talk, it's a follow-up to my previous talk um, about when they dispute the Almighty and they prove it in the process. Because I've just been thinking, when you listen to people like me, you must know how to learn from a teacher. When you listen to people like me, um, you listen to the talk and you develop tangents. You follow those tangents. When I listen back to my talks, I get tangents and I follow those tangents. So I teach and I'm also the pupil. So I teach myself too. And I develop tangents, and all my talks have been developed from tangents I developed from other talks and even other teachers out there as well. So when you hear a teacher talking, he's talking. You don't have to say exactly what I'm saying. Just whatever tangent comes into your mind, then that's what it means to you. And the knowledge grows like a tree. Now, for people to um, allow us to think about scientific theory and what's out there in the scientific community, this helps science because all these different tangents would lead to a productive end. This is how you increase the likelihood of finding solutions that will save the human race. Yeah, by encouraging everyone to think about scientific theory, to discredit scientific theory. Yeah, so conspiracy theories, sometimes some crackpot out there like me might come up with a tangent um, that discredits a known theory that might prove to be fruitful. You never know. You listen to every idea, no matter how dumb it is, and it might spark off a different tangent in you, and you come up with new theory that will help save this. Well, not planet. The planet doesn't need saving because the planet was there before the atmosphere was here, and even if the atmosphere disappears, the planet will still be there. Unfortunately, if the atmosphere disappear, we won't be here. So we need to save um, uh, the ecosystem, not the planet. Yeah. So basically, back to the tangent I developed from my previous talk in disputing it and proving it. I was trying to figure out how my thoughts can be considered to be a formed being. Yeah. A formed being that can be interacted with and reacted to. Then I started to think about the basic principles of motion as proposed by Isaac Newton. Basically, every action has a reaction. So for something to form, yeah, it must be reacted upon by something. So for my consciousness to form, it must be reacted upon by by an equal and opposite, um, well, thought. So that's my reaction. Yeah, my reaction to my thoughts. Yeah, forms immediately as soon as I think. Somehow, these buggers have figured out how to put me out of sync with my reaction self. Now, obviously, religiously speaking, your reaction self is called your ghost, your demon, your angel, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, because you're born with a spiritual form. Yeah, but that your reaction self is what ties you to nature. That's what bounds you in order for you to form. Yeah, because when you're without boundary, you're without form. So you must have a conscious boundary that bounds you. Yeah, that is like if you look at um, if you look at I don't know what can I give as an example. If you look at a cake, yeah, and you put little holes in it, yeah. So imagine your consciousness being you take out a piece, yeah, from a cake, yeah, and it leaves a hole behind. But when you put that piece back, it fits right in there and makes a perfect fit. Now you see the piece you took out, that's your consciousness, and the hole, yeah, that is the hole itself, that is your reaction consciousness. And as you can see, it's part of the membrane. So that is the Almighty. So everyone in them, yeah, is that the Almighty Spirit. So Jesus said, Christ said, our Father. Yeah, so that means somehow they get me to be out of sync, yeah, with my reaction self. Yeah, they somehow put me out of that hole, and then they switch things for me. I haven't figured it out, but this is just a tangent that I've developed. So somehow, when I'm out of sync with the Almighty, they can skew my luck against me. Yeah. Now this is why I don't want them to use the power of my mind, because they never use it to help me or to bring my victory. They use it to bring everybody else's victory but my own. So I don't want them to use the power of my mind. And this is why you don't. And this is why the Bible tells you, do not allow yourself to be a medium to others. Yeah? They will not be using the power of your mind for your best interest. They'll be using the power of your mind, your God-given right, yeah, for their own interests. Yeah? Now, the difference with Christ will be using it for the greater good, I suppose. And if you ask him something, as long as it's not silly, I suppose, your prayers will be answered, I suppose. But if we look at it scientifically, you say my reaction self, yeah. So as I'm about to look at something, yeah, they somehow put me out of sync with my reaction self, and I think I go into a parallel universe where I lost out. Yeah. I can't understand the mechanisms, but the more and more I test for it and I look at it, the more I learn. Yeah. Those people who are doing it already know it, but I don't. Yeah. So I'm just gathering this evidence from what I'm experiencing. Yeah. So that's just I wanted to touch on that subject, that every consciousness has an equal and opposite reaction consciousness that gives it form.